This month I was supposed to come up with an intro and failed, but I did write a lot of notes, so let's talk about that instead. The issue with having an intro based around what you've not done this month is that if you didn't have any plans to do anything, you don't really have an intro. I did everything I was planning to do, I just wasn't really planning to do very much. We did some more art stuff. A city near us had this mural painting weekend where they invited a lot of artists to come and paint murals. So we went and watched that because my wife knew a few of the people who were doing it. We didn't actually stay very long because it was raining a lot. We had a little bit of a go with some spray cans, which is not something we'd done before. But yeah, we weren't really there for very long. The worst part of that day was getting the train out of it because apparently they only do single car trains on the weekends for some reason. So there was 50 or 60 people all trying to get on at the same stop. It was awful. But I tried Dave's hot chicken that day and it was okay. It wasn't great. I don't think it was amazing or anything. I don't like dry spices. I like my heat to come from a sauce. So when it's fried chicken with oil on it and then dried spices on top of that, and that's where all the heat is, and I just don't enjoy that because it ends up it's hot, but it's also just kind of sandy in my mouth. I mean, it was fine, but I didn't particularly enjoy it. Probably won't go back. But I think outside of that, we didn't really do anything. The only thing we've done is a lot of house stuff. Most of what we did for the house was just tidying things. There's a lot of stuff in the house because my family has owned the house since the 70s. So most of the members of my family have lived there as well at one point or another. There's just a lot of people's stuff in it. And it's just going through all that stuff and finding out what's for keeping, what's for throwing away. Because there's just jars of water. Because it's holy water that people have got from places. And I'm just I don't want it. So we're just going to get rid of all those. There's also loads of stuff that's other people's that they might want back. And there's loads of pictures that I just don't want. So we've got to see if anyone in my family wants those. It's just stuff like that. But there's just tons of it. So we spent some time going through a lot of that this month. We also cleared one of the rooms of a load of furniture that originally we were talking about keeping it, but it was two massive cupboards with really deep drawers. And we just don't want them. We've got our own furniture that we need space for, and I would rather them go there. We get rid of those cupboards and put our furniture in that place, which we'd prefer. So we're going to do that. We moved those cupboards and we put those in my workroom for the moment. Eventually they'll probably go down in the basement, but for now they're just in the workroom. I've put all my tools and stuff in those, and I've got a couple of tools on top of them. You can actually see some shots of them in the video that I put up the other day. There's also some shelves that we took down that were actually on top of those cupboards, and we've put those freestanding in the center of the kitchen living room divide because they don't have a back to them. So we've stood those up on the false wall, and it looks okay. They're too big for the space at the moment, so I need to get some edge banding, but once I've got the edge banding, I'm going to take them down, cut everything down to the right size, and then do the edge banding on all of them so they actually look okay. Just the only reason I'm not taking them down now is because if I take them down now, I'll take them down, cut them to the right size, put them back up, then I have to take them all down again and then put the edge banding on. So I'd rather just do it all in one go. Doing that, though, meant we found out that that room doesn't actually have flooring in it properly, so we're trying to decide what to do about that. We could get carpet, which is what's in there at the moment, and that would be fine. We could also get vinyl or laminate, and we're also trying to decide if we want to do it ourselves or get someone else to do it. Now, part of me wants to try and do it myself, just so I know. Part of me wants to get someone else to do it, just so I can get it done. It would be faster if I got someone else to do it, but I would also like to learn how to do it, in case I need to do it again in the future. I'm kind of leaning towards fitting a carpet myself, because there's a place near us where I can get some relatively cheap carpet. The original piece we found that we liked was £10, which is really cheap, but it was just a bit too small. But even then, there's a piece we found that was the right size, and that was only 25, which is more, but not that much more. So we're thinking about going with that, but I'm just not totally sure at the moment. And then the main other thing we did was decide that we're actually going to paint the bedroom now. Originally we were going to leave it, but the more time we've been there, the less we've liked it. And the best time to paint is before we move in, obviously. So we've already bought the paint for it. We've got a tin of grey and a tin of quite a dark red. And we're going to do most of the room in the grey and then just dark red on one of the walls. And we think that'll look nice because at the moment it's so bright in there. And it is hard to not sleep because we haven't slept in there. But just being in there during the day, and if the sun passes the window, the room gets so bright. And the idea of trying to sleep in there and waking up that early in the morning just because the sun comes up, I'd hate it. I hate it as it is. We've got curtains for in there already, but we're going to paint the room to be a lot darker as well. And hopefully that'll help. And then we're nearly ready for the bathroom again. And one of the reasons we've started doing the other jobs is because I'm going to call the guy about the bathroom, and then I'm expecting him to tell me, oh, it'll be a few weeks before I can come anyway. So I'm going to call him probably tomorrow, soon, but probably tomorrow, so that he can tell me when he can next do, and then we can get these other jobs done while we're waiting for that. The carpet in that little room that I was just talking about, actually, I don't want to do that until after he's been, because I'm getting a radiator swapped in that room anyway, so there's just no point. But this is the plan for now anyway. Hopefully we'll be done soon. If you'd told me when I started that it'd be 18 months in and we still hadn't moved, I don't think I would have believed you, but it's just how it's been. Hopefully we'll be done at the latest by the end of the year. I'd be pretty upset if we weren't, but a lot of it is dependent on how long it takes this guy to come. Like, it's not his fault, he's just busy, but when he's available, hopefully it's sooner rather than later. But once the bathroom's done, we were going to move, and then there's other jobs that need doing, but I was going to do all of those after I've moved, because it'd be a lot easier to then. But that's the plan. So I've only actually played a couple of games this month, and one of those was for an LP, so I can't even talk about it. I'm still playing Monster Hunter. I know I keep saying I'm going to stop playing it soon, but I keep being not finished with the grind just as they release a new event or something. So they're pacing it quite well for retention for me, I guess. And at this point, the 14 crossover is next month, so I'll probably just wait for that. I'm still playing 14. I've been spending a lot more time doing the mining stuff for that, like on the moon, because they released a new area for it, and it's kind of fun. The weird thing is that the original area in the moon is harder. Like, I've already gotten a gold on every single mission in the new area, and I haven't even gotten gold in every mission in the first area. And I don't honestly think I even put that much more time into it. It's just the missions are weirdly harder. Like, the timing's a lot tighter in the original ones, and the requests are a lot harsher. I don't know, like, the number that they want from you for certain things is way bigger. Some of the missions are just like, collect this number of things in this amount of time. And in the new area, it's like 24 at most, and in the old area, it's up to like 60. And it's really hard to get them done in the time that they give you. But I've been doing that a lot. And I think the only other thing I've really done is 2 things. One of them is I played and finished a game called Mining Mechs, which is another one of those like mining games like Motherlode, and I played Ad Fundum earlier this year. And I really like them, but this one especially, it does some stuff I like. You don't have to refuel or anything, and I don't think there's any way of dying. But what you do is constantly dig up dirt, which you actually have to carry and get rid of. So that's kind of your limit for how long you can be down there, which is fine. There doesn't really feel like there's any choice, because one of the things it does is it adds in this like mining pipe that you have to dig a route for, and then it will go to abandoned mines and extract resources and give you money all the time. But that means there's not really any point in digging anywhere but in a straight line down from that, because you're going to need to do that at some point anyway, so you may as well just do that one from the start, mightn't you? So it means that you're actually just digging mostly in a straight line downwards the entire game. In the other games there is a choice, like you can go to certain bits of it or whatever. You can start wherever you want on the top and like take different routes if you feel like it. Whereas in this one, because you always want to dig downwards from that pipe, you may as well just only ever dig on that straight line. And there's not really much point either. Like, you only need money to unlock new mechs, and you don't really... You need the new mechs because it makes the mining easier, but that's about it. So you could feasibly get through the game without, really. It would take a really long time, but you could. I don't know. Like, it's fine. I kind of like it, and it's really cheap, so that's good. But it's not really very special. There's 2 pieces of DLC for it, but outside of the last, like, half hour, the gameplay for the 3 campaigns are basically exactly the same, just digging a line from that pipe. The story's different for each of them, but gameplay-wise, they're all basically the same except for the final half hour, and even then the final half hour, one of them is break some gems, another one is break some gems, and then a third one is rescue some things, and that's like it. I mean, like I say, they're all fine, and they're all pretty cheap, but there's also like a lot of dialogue, and it is right on the edge of being cringe, except for the times when it goes massively far over and is like the cringiest shit you've ever heard. And then every now and again you get a joke that's actually kind of funny, but I don't like regret playing it. I just don't think they're amazing. But for the price, they're fine, and I like these games, so... And there's a sequel, so I'm going to get that the next time it's on sale, and then they're making a new game as well that's like set in the same universe but a bit different, so I'll probably try that at some point. The main thing I've been playing, though, is Silksong, and I'm just, like, conflicted about it. I don't know if I'm even conflicted about it. Like, I know how I feel about it. I don't really like it. I already knew I wouldn't, because I don't actually particularly like Hollow Knight. I really like the art, and the music, and the world, and the bugs. But I don't actually like playing either of them. I don't like the platforming or the combat. I don't really like platforming, in general. And especially in this one, there is an upgrade you get, which actively makes earlier platforming challenges harder. And I don't think I've ever come across that before. The combat is just, it's fine. There's like crests you can find, and the crests will change how your combat works. And there is one crest that I found, which made the combat way better. I much prefer it now. But just in general, I just don't particularly enjoy it. I don't really get the point in everything being so hard. There's this whole thing about like people will be really satisfied and happy when they overcome a tough challenge. And that seems to be what this game is really built around, be it like a platforming challenge or a combat challenge. And the issue is I just don't feel like that. I've never felt that feeling. When I overcome a tough challenge, I am not satisfied that I've finished it. I'm just relieved it's done. I don't feel a sense of satisfaction. I'm just happy. Not even happy. I can't describe it. It's a sense of like immense relief that I'll never have to go through that again. It is not, wow, I'm so happy I did this. It's, well, thank fuck that's over. And that's how I feel every time. There is like no satisfaction I get from overcoming these tough things. I'm just like, okay, well now I can carry on with the things I actually want to do. And that's not exclusive to this, that's every game. The weird thing is that I don't necessarily feel like that about Dark Souls, but I don't really find Dark Souls that hard. Like, I very rarely actually find a Dark Souls game hard. And I think that's one of my other issues with this game, is just sections of it are so just unforgiving about things. And things just take so long. The boss fights will just go on forever. And it's just frustrating, because like, even if I'm doing well, it's just like, goes on for way longer than I want it to. It's like, I have this like threshold of, yes, I get what you're going for. Like, if I understand what is happening, there comes a point where it's like, yes, I get it now, can we just finish? That's where I get with everything. And then it takes over from being fun to just frustrating. Like, even if it's not hard, it's just going on longer than I want it to. I stop enjoying myself and I'm just like, can we just fucking finish now? And I also feel about that with the entire game. I'm like 30-ish hours in now, and I've not finished Act 2 yet. And I'm just like, we just be done. Like, it's not even that it's bad. I'm just like, ready for it to be over. And I know it's not. I know there's still another act. I also felt like that about the first game as well. It's like I knew going into this that I was going to feel most of these feelings. I'm not exactly blaming the game for a lot of this. The game is what I expected. And like, I was actually really careful in the impressions video I wrote to say that it was exactly what I expected and I think you should buy it. Because I didn't say that I like it, because I don't. It is exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's exactly as good as I thought it was going to be, and I think it's great value, so you should buy it. But I don't really like it. And I feel really weird about it, because there are other games that I have played. Well, I played The Plucky Squire at the same time as I played this, and I enjoyed playing that so much more. But it costs more, and there's less to it. So I'm like, it's not as good value. And that's like half of my decision. That game I enjoyed more, but don't think is of good value, whereas this, I enjoy less, but is undeniably worthwhile. It just leaves me feeling weird, honestly. Like, I can't phrase it in a different way, I just feel very strange about it. I think most people should probably play both of them. I also don't blame you in the slightest for not playing either of them. So, for the channels, I'm about to start Kurohyou 2. I'm still a bit apprehensive because there's not a lot of information about the game available in English. I did find some in Japanese that I managed to find a translation of, but still worried about it, but I'm looking forward to it. I say I'm looking forward to it. Ideally, I'd actually want to play Yakuza 6 next. I'm just in the mood for that more, but I want to get this done. My only issue is looking at what that's going to be like. I'm probably going to play Kurohyou 2, and then I don't know what I'm going to do after that, because Kurohyou 2, even if it only takes me a month, takes me until, like, November, and that means I probably won't actually play Yakuza 6 this year, because I don't want to start Yakuza 6 and then have it go into next year. I don't like having LPs stretch years. I may end up just doing that anyway, but I don't like doing that, but I may just have to. I've got another LP starting the same time as Kurohyou 2, basically, because Kurohyou 1 and Dungeons of Hinterberg both ended this month, didn't they? Which is this week to be very empty, which felt very strange. But yeah, so I've got 2 new LPs starting next week. One's Kurohyou 2, which is very obvious, and the other one is a game I've already played a bit of. You don't know what it is yet, I'm not going to tell you. I will tell you, I don't think it's very good. The LP's fine. A little bit clunky at times, because the game isn't very good. The game has some weird issues where, like, if you don't do things in a specific order, the game just won't save progress, so you have to replay sections. There's also bits where, like, I managed to break one of the cutscenes, so one of the episodes just ends in a very strange way because I managed to claw it back. But that's the start of the next recording now. There's, like, a shop where you can buy cosmetics, but that doesn't actually save. So if you buy a cosmetic from the shop, and then the game doesn't auto-save after that, there is no manual save. So you just don't get the things from the shop that you bought. It's just weird. Like, you can buy them again when you reload, but what's the point in that? It's just very strange. And the game is fine, but feels so unfinished. I wouldn't be surprised if I managed to skip things. I feel like I did. I don't know for sure, but it's also very short. Like, there's only 9 episodes of that in total. So I'll also have another LP next month, which I haven't decided yet. I've got ideas, but nothing decided. Pretty much everything else is just going to carry on as normal. I'll be doing some horror-themed videos, probably, because it's Halloween. I think the only other thing that's happened in terms of channels is that I had a big fight with Audacity again. I can't remember when it happened, but I think I talked about it in my last podcast where Audacity broke, and it turns out it was actually my GPU drivers had died or something, and it was fixed. But in the process of trying to do it, I ended up getting rid of my old version of Audacity and upgrading to the newest version. And I used it for a couple of weeks until it got to editing my last main channel video, and it was such a nightmare that as soon as I finished doing that, I just downgraded. So I now have my old version of Audacity again, because now I know it wasn't an Audacity problem. I wish I had never upgraded. Luckily, I just still had the installer for the old one. The newest version of Audacity is just bad. There is not a single change in the newest version of Audacity, which I think is actually better than the older version. One thing is they changed all the colours, which for me just made it harder to see everything. Like, I know I can change those, but the default dark mode is hideous and I can't look at properly, and there's no way of making the changes permanent. You have to change all your colours every single time you load a new project, and it's just frustrating. The biggest problem, though, is copying and pasting audio. In the Audacity I'm using, you select a section of audio, click copy, click paste, that's it. In the new version of Audacity, when you do that, it actually copies and pastes the entire audio file, and one of the problems with that is that it takes up a huge amount of space. One of my Audacity files ended up 40 gigabytes. It was originally a 500 megabyte file, and after making cuts and copying and stuff like that, it ended up being 38 gigabytes. And the solution to that is to actually copy all of it and paste it into a new Audacity file and save that, because that doesn't, weirdly, copy the entire tracks. That only copies the sections of the track. Whereas if you copy and paste within a file, it repastes the entire audio track, and there is no way of turning that off. So it's frustrating for that reason, but at least there's a workaround for that, to make the file smaller. The bigger problem for me is that every single time, it takes time. It's not an immediate copy and paste. It was taking 10 to 15 seconds every single time I copy and pasted something. Because what I was doing was, when I recorded my video, all of the tool noises were recorded on the same microphone. So what I ended up doing afterwards was manually going through and cutting out all of that and putting that on a new track. So I had my vocals on one track and all of the tool noises on a separate track, and so I could mix them differently. But every single time I had to cut out a tool noise, it was 15 seconds, and it was a 20-minute clip. And every single time I had to make a cut, it was a 15-second pause in my workflow every single time, and it was so bad. It was just awful. So I'm never doing that again. I'm just going to stay on this version of Audacity because that was fucking terrible. And then there's like tons of like cloud integration and account stuff, and I was just like, fuck all that. This version is everything I want it to be and nothing else. So I'm probably never going to use anything else. If I absolutely have to, I'll find a different audio editing program, because it was fucking terrible. And there is no workarounds for the things that I've found as far as I can tell. Special thanks to all of my patrons. You can join them over at patreon.com/Holden Gatsby, and for $1 a month you'll get to see what I'm working on early, wallpapers for my LPs, exclusive roles in my Discord, and any other rewards I might think of. You can also just follow me there if you want to for free, as it's probably the best place to see all of my content as soon as it's available. There's links to the Patreon, along with my Discord, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Twitch, and all the other podcast platforms in the description for this episode. Finally, don't forget you can email me using podencastby@gmail.com if you've got anything you want to say. Thanks for sticking around. Bye. Special thanks to my patrons, Justin Wood, Hobbs, and Koopy Vegeta. You can join my patrons at patreon.com/Holden Gatsby, check out my TikTok and Twitter @Holden Gatsby, and follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Holden Gatsby. Don't forget to subscribe to all of my channels. If you want more, you can watch my last video now, but if not, then thanks for sticking around. Bye.